Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Leo December 2023 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant. Well, we have a very interesting deck this month to see what is swirling around you, what cosmic energies are swirling around you, and how the numerology and astrology comes into play for you as well. And it's mainly centered on sub-Saharan Africa and West Africa in particular. So I'm sure those of an African heritage will find a good emotional connection with it. But I think everyone's going to find, I think you'll find a good connection with this because the art itself is so good. And we pray that we'll be inspired to provide some poetic words to accompany the image while providing the reading for you. Now, of course, I've done a number of one-on-one clairvoyant readings over FaceTime and Skype over the course of the last month to people from different parts of the world, and it's been great to see you. If you might be interested in that, at the end of the video, have a look at the description below. I have also done a number of healings over FaceTime and Skype as well. Now, of course, readings I have to charge for. Healings, however, and I say they go for an hour, but normally they run for longer than an hour. And healings, look, the spiritual gift of healing was provided to me on the basis that I use it and that I get no reward or return for it. So it is offered for free, without any obligation, with no catch. You won't be recommended or sold anything, I can promise you that, either from myself or from anybody else. And by the way, don't be embarrassed or feel shy about coming forward. I've been doing this for over 40 years, and there is nothing by way of readings and healings that I have not seen or heard, and I have a very non-judgmental approach to things. It is an approach which is to enable the spirit to provide you with comfort and support. Now, the subscribers know that there are no video advertisements in here, so you get to enjoy the experience direct without any interference. And it's great to see you, subscribers. Thank you for inviting me into your home. I really appreciate seeing you each month. Truly, I do. Now, let's see what these images have in store for you for this month. There is young coin. Young coin for you. Highly talented and attractive Leo. The 9 of coins. Funny that the same suit should come through there. I think it's good to dig into the middle here, that way I don't have any chance of seeing anything. There is the 8 of staves. The 8 of staves, indeed. Well, there is the 7 of coins. And finally, let's find something from where? From in here, shall we? Let's get this done. Get it over with you, for you, and then we can get into the reading. There is the Wheel of Fortune. Now, as is our usual practice, come and sit down next to me. I'll bring the camera around so you and I can together have a good look at the artwork on these cards together while I do the reading for you. Now, just while I'm picking up the energy of these cards, sometimes I look at the small YouTube channels on tarot, and I saw one called Ministry of Tarot. And the lady who does it, whose style, of course, is very different to me, I think is authentic. And so you might, after this video, want to have a look at Ministry of Tarot. Now, what I've got the energy here now, and it is, look, there's some fearful expectations coming on here which are overcome through good luck and clear decision-making work, and there's gain for you. Let's have a look at this first card and see what I think this has got something to say about it. Let's have a look here. And this image here is a woman sitting by herself in the quiet of the forest. Now, in her lap are 7 coins, looking as if they are in her womb, waiting to be birthed. Now, behind her, as you'll see here, is a large orangutan, An orangutan means forest man, and in Bahasa, Indonesian, actually. Now, the orangutan spirit, I think, reminds us to have wisdom and to trust your intuition. It is also a reminder of the relationship between mother and child, so that you have to learn to understand your own nurturing relationships and what fruit they produce. Now let me pull this out a bit again for you. I just get the feeling there could be some element of stagnation around you for a moment, and the reason is that astrologically, where this is placed and with these other cards around it, it is Saturn in the third decan of Taurus, which is the 11th to the 20th of May. Now, Saturn, as you probably recall, is slow-moving, and it's often a restricting planet. And Taurus, of course, is the plodding, fixed sign of Earth. And so together, they come around to give you a feeling of stagnation. So there could be something like a restriction, or you resigning yourself to something, or hesitating before you do it, thinking that some obstacle that could be there, you think, is actually going to be too big for you to get over, and there's a sort of a fear of falling over. It may be that you are working through something of a dry spell, but I get this fear of making mistakes, and this is touching business and financial system situations, your physical conditions or health. And you may be seeing some, as I say, obstacles in front of you, and don't think that you'll be able to jump over them at the first try. And of course, when that happens, terrible images rise up threateningly, and so you tend to draw back, resigned, and limit your actions to the old and familiar ways of dealing with problems. Nevertheless, though, I do think that this is a hint perhaps, that you need to take something seriously, and that is fear, I think, unfounded fear, either conscious or unconscious, because I kind of get the feeling that there is a sort of a fear present, and now it is time for you to recognize and to accept the fact that you have this fear. Now, this is the first step in you overcoming it. Do you know, recognizing a fear is 99% of conquering it, and it allows you to let it go, creating a more positive outlook. Now, thoughts which confirm and affirm life in all of its fullness and beauty, that's what you need, along with a positive attitude, good thoughts, because thoughts create the proper energy to change any unpleasant feelings or experiences that you might expect into actually very joyful events. So it may be that your ability to deal with things could be blocked by heavy and fearful expectations, but this is turning around, and you should look now at the content and the quality of those expectations clearly. Now, what areas of your life worry you the most? Maybe this is an exercise that you could do. Write with a pen and paper a complete list of your worst expectations, and then take a new piece of paper and change each fear into its positive opposite, and then keep working on these lists, changing them when necessary, and decide about things consciously. But say this to yourself and have this thought in mind all throughout this month. I have the courage to believe that all that happens in my life serves for the best, and I am willing to release all that is not serving me in my life. Now, as I mentioned this good card here, and let's have a quick look at it, because it has a great energy associated with it. I think that's one of those kind of totems from, I think it's the Congo. Let's have a look. Here is what I see. Now, I think what we have here is it comes from the Congo, and it's called a cosmogram from memory, and it's foundational in the depiction of the cycle of life, beginning with the birth or rebirth, as the case may be, in the East, and then it moves up in spirit as you go through your life journey, setting into bodily death in the West, and then descending into the underworld in the West African tradition, where your energy will rise up once again. Now, this cycle, it really copies, doesn't it, itself throughout every stage of your life. Relationships, circumstances, finances, knowledge, spiritual and emotional consciousness, they all take on various forms throughout your life. But at the center is the seed of the eternal, and from that point, energy changes and moves and is always with you. Now, astrologically, the good thing about this is that it is, for me, the planet Jupiter all over this card. And let me just move that around a bit. And Jupiter, of course, is the bringer of great good fortune, expansion, luck, and everything. So there is here for you now, despite your fearful expectations, there is actually a new beginning and an expansion. Creativity, a big breakthrough is what I see here, and unexpected good fortune. There's luck. Certainly there's the opportunity of a chance opportunity. Winning is what I see for you. A few ups and downs, of course. But it may well be a life-changing meeting. This is definitely a turning point for the better here. Now, this represents creativity, and it is about good fortune and making things happen. It is a definite yes. I think it does represent an unexpected change in your life, which is going to be favorable, but it may not necessarily seem that way at first. So be ready to act on any unexpected opportunities. Now, when times are good, stay centered, of course, because things always change. But change is about to happen. Now, you may need to alter your present course or change things around to set the stage for the right outcomes to come into your life. If no miracles are happening, something is wrong, because I think you stand before the possibility of a great breakthrough. So use this moment. Are you ready for the great good fortune coming your way? And what is standing in the way? And actually, again, use the pen and paper and write down what good fortune means to you in your present situation, and then make a new list of everything which prevents you experiencing fortune right now. And say to yourself, I am a prosperous individual. I am flexible in times of change. I enjoy manifesting internal abundance externally. Abundance which created me is what I am, and I am now ready for the miracle of my life. And I think you start putting into place and making the decisions and talking to people to make good things happen to you here so that you can bring about some freedom for yourself. And I'm having a look at it here with this image, because this is it not an image of freedom? Whatever these things are, they are in the air, they are free, they're moving around. Now, the astrology here is Mercury ruling the first decan of Sagittarius, which is the 23rd of November to the 2nd of December. Well, Mercury is the planet of, among other things, of communication. And Sagittarius, of course, has the swiftness of the arrow. Now, the combination of these two things, I think, is going to produce in you a restless intellect to start moving things forward. You're overcoming these things here, you see. Now, the number 8 here, I also have a mystical association with the planet of Mercury as well. So there's a double Mercury in here. So There's a great ability to communicate and get your ideas across. Now, numerologically, number 8 for me also means power, balance, harmony, manifestation, practicality, skill, and decision. This is really a time where I see you overcoming the hindrances which have stood in your way. If you state, using the communication here, because I do see direct, swift communication with you, which overcomes misunderstandings, which overcomes obstacles, then if you state your own standpoint openly, clearly, and directly, those hindrances are going to be transformed and misunderstandings are going to yield to clarity. I think that you by now will have found your own inner center, and you'll be able to present your position with emphasis and openness. And a problem which has appeared to be insurmountable until now fades meaninglessly into the background because of your clarity of mind. And if you overcome the tendency to hesitate, which this was talking about here, and you are prepared to call disturbing influences by name, then you will rob them of their power to restrict and hinder you. Now, this is a very fast-acting energy that's coming from Spirit here for you now, so you need to seize it and use it and act on it quickly. It's very refined energy. I do think you can expect to be busy, as this card has a lot of energy which is propelling you towards your goals, and I think you'll quickly complete any projects that you have underway. But you must determine where your energy is going to be directed. You need to focus your power into a narrow point rather than scatter it so that you can make those breakthroughs there. Now, I think the moment has come for you to define where you stand. And if you are open and remain centered, well, as I say, misunderstandings will be cleared. Now, is there anyone to whom you do not dare to openly state where you stand? Well, use this opportunity to open yourself up more to those people who mean something to you. Talk to them and say to yourself, my openness and self-confidence opens the hearts of those I love. Well, where shall we go? I think that, who is beckoning? This fellow here looks like interesting. Let me look into your eyes and see what I see in you. Okay. You have got what to tell my friend here. Now, there's air and earth around here, so this is I think you'll be combining your mind with focus, discipline, and the means to build things. I think you'll have a real incredible focus. You could be quite meditative from time to time and be fully present in whatever task you might be involved in. But you will be able to multitask, I think, and I think that this is what was talking about, this great energy that's going on here. I see multitasking going on with you, and you'll manage these things while you are engaging all of your senses to increase your awareness and absorption of information from the environment. Now, you'll use your mind to create new things and plans. And I think what we'll find here is that, like a mountain climber, you will steadily and carefully work towards reaching the top while braving the harsh conditions of the mind within you. And you'll be able to push through any physical pain, as well as any mental insecurities that would otherwise stall your success, is what I'm seeing here. So I do see, well, in fact, the success is shown here. Now, I do think that this makes you great for anything that requires focus, and particularly fitness or physical training as well. There really is this energy coming up of you having a great mastery of structure, of design, of architecture. Not necessarily architecture just like designing buildings or houses, but it could also be things to do with makeup, hair, fashion, putting things together, beautifying things around your home environment. It can also include, obviously, things to do with making things happen at work, putting processes into place. I think you're going to be very unshakable during this period. Quite careful, I think, is what is going on here. And I do think there needs to be an emphasis on some physical activity. You'll be very energetic following on from that free-flowing energy that we saw here, a very capable manager. You'll be slow to anger during this time, but I think watch out if you have been pushed, your limits have been pushed too far. You'll be very energetic and able to endure through things. You'll be competent, ingenious, thoughtful, trustworthy, and I think you'll find new ways of doing things from out of the common things around you, or from out of things which are being used or processes that are being around. You'll be able to adapt to circumstances and turn them to your advantage with a slow, steady, well thought out plan. Yes, there really is a sense, I think, here of almost like a pollination and a blooming which is going on here for you. Very much so. You'll be putting a lot of effort into practical things at the moment. And it's a time in your life when you are going to be very goal-oriented and want to sort out the material side of your life, such things as health, career, those things that are tangible to you. But following on from that previous card there, this is also encouraging you, in fact, demanding of you that this is the time to take action. Because if you do, important experiences are going to result. Now, what activities do you enjoy? What activities would help you towards self-realization? Again, I'm getting the need for physical activity here, so find a physical, creative activity in which you find joy and fulfillment. And say this to yourself: I am finding the things to do in my life which fulfill and satisfy me. And finally, I think, it is finally, isn't it? Let's have a look. We did that. Gee, this cardstock sticks together. Let's have a look. There's nothing much to see on the back, incidentally. Let's have a look at this. What are you doing? What's this picture going on? Oh, I love birds. I've got a real interest in, always have had, since being a little boy, a love of birds and almost an encyclopedic geek knowledge of them. Let's see what's going on with this painting here. And it is, well, look, there is a mature woman who has, I think, accomplished a lot, and she's acquired a lot in her life. Now, through the hardships, loneliness, and lessons learned, she has earned the sense of self-satisfaction that she now embodies. Now, above her is, as I say, and it's this bird here, and that bird actually is called it's a painted bunting, and it is a species of the bird within that cardinal family. Now, as animal totems, I know that cardinals, that is that species of birds in West Africa, bring about a sense of confidence, energy, and higher intuition. They flow with the seasons effortlessly, with self-assurance, grace, and nobility. Now, behind the woman, and you'll see the outlines of them here, well, there are bison by the look of it. Now, bison bring the power of survival, manifestation, and abundance, and they teach you to harness these skills with ease, using your wisdom and knowledge to stay in harmony, to remain grounded, and operate in a space of thankfulness every step of the way. The astrology of this energy for me is particularly good for you because it is Venus in the second decan of Virgo, that 3rd to the 12th of September. Now, Venus, as you would probably know, is concerned with love, relationship, beauty, happiness. It's also associated with money. And all of those things, well, they're expressions of your interests, pleasures, and tastes, aren't they? Well, Venus is saying that if your heart is pure and you follow your heart, that your life can only gain from this, and good fortune is going to attend your material affairs, your lifestyle. So I see here growth, gain, love bonds, wisdom, and an understanding by you that the more you give, the more you receive. There's a reward for your efforts here, realizing your goals, and there's a sense of material security and self-sufficiency around here. Do you know that I think that projects, situations, and relationships are going to combine together to provide material gain for you? Now, this isn't wealth, but it's a really good feeling that things are going along okay for you. I think you'll have good luck and good management in financial affairs, and it's almost like there's a karmic reward coming to you now. The highest task that life sets for you is to realize yourself. And this happens in carrying out the special tasks which are assigned to you in your soul contract. Now, retreating from your life's tasks and your soul contract out of fear or out of a desire to remain comfortable means you're actually denying yourself. So gain comes from giving willingly and lovingly. Giving in this sense means also giving yourself up to the cosmos, giving yourself fully to life. And the cosmic law of wealth is hereby fulfilled. The more I give, the more I receive. Now, if your knowledge and creativity are filled with love, you will gain from all situations in life. The more deeply you are engaged, the more comprehensive your insights will be. Do you know what your highest goal in life is? Can you put it down specifically in one sentence? And check carefully that whether that which you call gain is actually in alignment with your values and with your ultimate goal. And say this to yourself: everything that happens today serves my growth. The more I give, the more I receive. Well, what a fantastic set of cards for you. Well done, you. Well, I told you that was going to be a very interesting deck, didn't I? And I think you'll agree with me that it was. I hope that you enjoyed the artwork as much as I did, and I hope that you enjoyed the reading as much as I did providing it to you. And if you did and you've made it this far, can you do me the great favor of, on the way out, hitting the like button and the subscribe button, because it's good for the YouTube computer, if you understand what I mean. But look, it's been wonderful to see you again. I hope to see you again next month, of course, unless I see you privately in between. But until then, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.